Hobao, starting on the Hobao Hyper VS roller prep. I'm going to start with the body, get that out of the way so it gives time for the paint to cure, and then I can back it with some tape and glue. So first things first, it'll be a scuff, a wash and a mask. And I've peeled off the excess so you can see what the mask looked like, and we've just got 3 to put in. Now the body's all painted on the Hyper VS, and now we're on to tyres. I've put one on and then we'll glue them. But these are quite hard to get on because you've got a lot of foam to get in. And so, being a thin tyre, this foam has got to compress a lot. One thing I've not looked at is there is a possible drill hole, or is it left up to you whether you want them or not? Because if I'm going to do them, I'm going to probably not drill, because then you don't get water in them in the same way. Must be near the end. Yeah, that's all it shows on the tyres. Nothing, just says put together. So I'm going to leave them pressurised. I can always possibly drill from the inside if it comes to it. But yeah, I found that with these wheels, because they're quite flexy on the inside, so when you put the tyre in, put it from the front face inwards. But they take some getting on. And this is what I've been doing, is sort of pushed, well, the first one I've got them on so far, and then go to this side. See, we've got a load of foam, and sort of push the whole lot over, and then pull the rim back. Like I said, I've never done these sort of tyres. And then pull the inner rim. And now it's just a case of pulling and gluing and getting them really flat, and using a lot of glue, but not making too much mess. Quite surprising how much muck you get off the tyres pulling onto your hands, but I'm not gluing on camera, as you can guess. And I'll get these done and then they can rest, but I'll be gluing sort of one side, leaving them for a half hour, then I'll do the other. The tyres are all glued. What a messy job that is. I'm not a fan of gluing tyres, but they're done. Now we're going to fit these 3D printed plates. Just going to release with the driver. And then we'll take them out with the drill driver. They're good long screws, so it's not a problem fitting these where they're a little bit thicker. Can't see an issue. Then this should just hopefully fall into place. They line up, they're not great though. I'm going to start all 4 screws first because, like I said, I don't know. There you go. I don't know if these are going to line up. Strange, isn't it? I'm not going to whack them in, as you can guess, until I know they're not starting. I've got one going, it's just this last one. They are a tight fit, to say the least. You can definitely see them bending out of shape. They will straighten them by hand. They are not a good 3D print. We'll see how the others fit. But probably once they're wrenched down they'll be alright. Well, it's on. Yeah, it's gone down. They're fitting flush, so. But I would have thought they would have been a bit better fit than that. But I'll get the others on and we'll have a look. I finally got them all to fit. The centre one was the best one to line up. Still not perfect, but I had to countersink the holes, so they're a lot better. The end ones I did as well, just to bring them down a little bit. But they were not, though they did not line up well. The holes here were definitely slightly out of line. They're setting, it's only a sort of a fraction of a millimetre, but it's a fraction, but they will pull into shape. But that should give a little bit of protection to underneath on landings. Now we'll look at the motor. Now here we have the motor, here, big old thing. Just got to work out how to fit that. And the ESC, it's got tabs on the side and screws holes underneath. I'm thinking of cutting the battery tray down so it can fit flat on the chassis, which I think might be better. I just don't know, I've got to have a look at it, because this is an older version of the 8. I think the best thing is to take the battery tray out and have a look, and then we can decide before we go too mad. This could be awkward. Because the way the battery tray's designed, I've got a feeling the holes are in the wrong area. Yeah, it seems to be held on with 4 screws. Actually, it's held on with 6 screws. Oh well, you learn as you go. There we go, it's out the way. The ESC, let's have a look, because it's like there's a curve on the chassis and everything. Yeah, I think that'll fit nicely, bolted in there. And then we'll cut down the tray as near as possible and screw that back in, because I can cut it across there and hopefully it will fit in beside. You know, just lose a couple of the screw holes. No, we can't go too far back because of the drive shaft. Yeah, this is going to take some thinking out because we're going to have to sort of mount this differently. Or I've got to try and mount this on. And again, because it's got these side tabs, which might be better to take them off, because there's other screw attachments, but yeah, you might be able to do. See, the trouble is, it's how it lines up. It's the holes are bigger than. So if we go sideways, will that work? We're right up butted against the suspension, and it would be very hard to get it to fit. Well, I've gone a bit forwards. I've got the motor in. That's all nicely done up. The battery tray's been cut down and just about fitted in the ESC in the on button just to the side, and tidied the cables up. It should fit nice and flat under the body. Next is fitting the servo. Like I said, we've got this little metal geared waterproof e-tronics. 15 kg I think is enough for this car because it's not super heavy and the wheels are not super big. So I've got to work out how to get this in. And how to run the cable, because like this is one of the things I said about this, you've got to try and keep the cables away from the centre. I've got this set up like that, so I'll get this out and get it in. The servo don't fit that well, so there must be a better way of doing it, or cutting the mount a little bit, I don't know. So there's plenty to screw in from the front, so I might trim this mount at the back because I can't see any reason. We're screwing from the front and you've got that much to go through, so we're going to afford to chop this away a bit. So I'll do some cutting, hopefully make it fit without bending the cable so badly. Yeah, it literally needs cutting all the way to there, you know. Don't know why they designed it like that, because just that little bit less plastic would have been easy. I think that's a lot better, cutting that bit of casing away. The wire comes out nice, and it's going to keep the wire away from the shafts, which they can be a cable tied together at the end. So I'm going to get the rest back in and try and sort out this battery receiver box, which is hopefully my receiver fits in, and that should hopefully button up the electrics. Well, I finally got the electrics in. This box, nothing wrong with it, but on the lower section there's a divot below to match the top. If they'd have kept that square below either side, your receiver would fit in straight down, the little Fly Sky ones I use. But if you pushed it in, it distorted the box so badly. To get the leads in, I had to cut a bigger hole because there wasn't enough for 2 cables. This aerial piece, I had to cut a couple of coils off because the tube would not go in. It was the wrong size. Niggly little bits, but I can't fault it otherwise going together. It's just been niggly bits. The electrics are all nice and tidy. I know I've got the battery out, and we'll test it. And there we go. We've got the steering. I've just used their standard horn for now. If it breaks, then I'll put an alloy one on. We've got power. I don't know how fast it's going to be because, like I said, I'm only running 3S through 16 tooth pinion, but I do have a 20 ready because, being a low kV, I can gear it up quite a bit, but not until I've tried it first. Right, just got to button it up, get the wheels on, get the body on, and the wing. There we go, I've got there. It's all together. A bit noisy, but hopefully the gears will loosen up. They're not too tight, I have checked, and I'm using their gears, so it's not sort of the wrong gears. Hope you like the paint job. That is the white, the yellow. I had some metallic red, so we added some of that in striping, and silver windows just to blank them out. I think that looks better that way, because no point in seeing through clear to look at the electrics, and I'm not going to put a driver in it. It's not that sort of car. So that is sort of what you have to go through to set up a Hobao Hyper VS. Little niggly things we saw, but most of it was pretty simple.